As I've arranged the episodic sequence of this project, I've found that it's taken quite a bit of time to develop this episode, literally the first episode, because I felt this huge complexity surrounding exactly how to establish myself. I want to be honest about the motivation of the project while avoiding the typical testimony speech, because I just think it's reductive. So for this episode, in the name of this project, I will forthrightly and very conscientiously be revealing some things that I've never shown or told anyone, so that I can authentically sediment this project. I started making these video diaries in the first place because I honestly just felt really lonely. Okay, it's currently 7:10 in the morning and I have to be to work at 8. Obviously something's on my mind heavy and I just feel like talking about it out loud will help me release and then be able to get up and go to work. In high school, I had a really close friend, but while we were friends, I didn't realize how important their friendship was to me until it started fading. I'm so sick of coming on here being back and forth about this boy, but we each knew a lot of people, but for whatever reason, neither of us felt as though we could be vulnerable with anyone besides each other. We had never explicitly admitted that to one another until one night this friend snuck me out of my house. We snuck out and we just rode around for 4 or 5 hours, just talking and enjoying each other's company. And when it came time for me to go home, we, for the first time, were explicitly honest with each other about how secure we made the other feel. It's what he said, he seemed so genuine. And when I asked him what was going on, why he said what he said the other day, he basically reiterated what he said. That was the first time that I could say that I felt hopeful for my future. I felt like I could imagine growing up and being in the world as long as I had that friend by my side. So my reaction was to press further in to that friendship, but their reaction was to withdraw. I'm sure you can imagine the conflict that this caused within our friendship. It's I'm asking you that, I'm asking you all this, it's for you to be honest, not for you to give me some bullshit answer that you think I want to hear, or because you don't want to hurt my feelings. He said we were gonna hang out last night. We said we were gonna hang out last night. Texted him to confirm. And then he was let's go for a walk, around the time that we would usually, start making plans or whatever. And I was okay. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he was just bro, I'm mad. Why would you say that? Da, da, da. We didn't hang out last night, basically. He never came. It's just really fucking annoying, dude. But I'm done. I'm not texting him. I don't know if it was the catalyst or the last straw, but it made me realize that I was really unhappy. I'm just really upset. I'm not even upset. I'm just I'm sad. I just had these deep rooted feelings that I can only describe as this deep deep longing to be truly happy. Now, my parents have always been spiritual, so they did teach my siblings and I the importance of prayer. So when I got really desperate, some days I would pray, but never to any true avail.
I'm tripping up. People are crazy. I cannot. My soul belongs to the Lord Jesus Christ.
So I began making these video diaries, and for a while they were reliable escapes where I could make raw and honest confessions free of judgment. And they worked to blissfully propel me through my freshman year of college. But by that summer, when I had to go back home, I felt myself begin to deteriorate into the same state that I was the year prior. Lost. So at some point on my way to rock bottom, the video diaries stopped being therapeutic and started being simply confessional.
I think I'm really about to put on a movie or YouTube or something and just try to go to sleep or something. I don't know. I'm in a really bad place right now.
What I didn't realize I was risking was putting more of a burden on myself to not only be experiencing the emotions, but then I was also depending on myself to make sense of them.
I'm really sad right now, and I don't know why. It could be the season. It always comes around this time. It really sucks. I don't know what it is, like why I get so sad around this time.
I began making entries more so to just keep my sanity and admit things to someone who wouldn't judge or question me. One day in particular, I was making an entry, immediately found myself becoming anxious.
I've had a pretty slow morning. It's just now noon, actually. It's 11:43. But
although I was trying hard to convince myself that I was happy where I was at and content doing what I was doing, I was saying things like, today is one of the better days.
I'm back at home. Today is one of the better days that I've been back at home.
I love my room. I feel safe here.
I love it.
But then I follow it up with vulnerable emotions and complaints about minor events that occurred in the short time since I'd been home.
I'm not talking to my boyfriend at the moment, which is annoying because I'm in the house, like not doing anything.
I was smiling on the outside, but my rambling and constant movement proves the anxiety and discontent that I was feeling.
I got my job interview tomorrow at Olive Garden. I really hope that goes well. Like, I can't see myself as an Olive Garden girly, but I really, really hope that interview goes well because I want it to. Like, I don't want to have to look for a new job. I don't want to have to look for another job. Like, I just need this job. I need this job. I need the money. But I'm trying to move a lot more. Planning on taking my walk today sometime. But I wanted to bring my boxes and everything up today. Like, when I got a boost of energy from this coffee. But I don't actually think I want to do that. It is only noon, like I said. I feel like I've done nothing. Like, I don't feel like bringing my boxes upstairs right now. I have all those pillows over there, and it's like, I kind of just want to like get rid of those pillows. I mean, some of them are real cute, but I think I'm gonna just put the pillows in the closet.
The more I tried to talk to my video diary, the harder my heart started to pound, and I remember getting scared because I had never felt such intense sadness before.
Gosh, this feels so like significant, you know? This feels really significant.
Something felt significant. I think it was really for lack of better words, because what I was really thinking was something is off. So, in yet another fit of desperation, I decided to pray.
I'm gonna say a prayer.
I initially began to end my video diary, and I don't know why I ultimately decided to keep it rolling while I prayed, maybe just because of the urgency I felt to do so.
I'm gonna say a prayer, whatever.
Nonetheless, this time, in all my vulnerability, with my extremely private video diary watching, I prayed like I had never prayed before. I pleaded with him to show me what it was I was missing and to help me understand him if indeed he is the answer.
Please, 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 please. Help me figure out what it is I need to do, how it is I need to do it, God, please. Please stay with me, please stay with me, please stay with me.
I prayed for God to guide me in this world. I prayed not just for him to give me the things that I wanted like I usually did, but for forgiveness, because the thoughts that I was having in that moment were terrifying me.
God, please, please. God, I want your forgiveness. Trust. I thank you for every single thing you've given to me, God. I thank you. I thank you for every single thing that you've given to me. I live without you, Lord, and I thank you for every last thing.
As I was praying these things, these thoughts started to get louder, and they began to get more challenging and started negating everything that I was saying. When I asked God to guide me, it said he won't. When I said I loved him, it said, no, you don't. When I told God I only want the things of him, it said, how do you know? I literally started like twitching and leaning and readjusting myself, because this negative voice was so challenging and it was so persistent that it caused me to actually have to lift my voice to a louder whisper in order to continue my prayer. I finally had to come out of my whisper and ask God out loud to make it stop.
Please silence all the extra noise in my head, God. I want to hear you. I want to hear you, God. I don't want anything that's stopping you, and I want to hear you. I want to feel you.
And when I say that, then I started to shift again in my seat, but this time it was because I started to feel a warmth creep up my spine, and then it covered my arms, making me turn my palms open toward the ceiling. And then I heard the words, "It's gonna be okay." So short, so vague, so peaceful, so certain, so loud yet silent but clear nonetheless. I just felt God. When it was over, I couldn't believe that it wasn't traceable on the video, the presence that I felt. It was the most healing 5 minutes of my entire life. I literally felt like I was crying on the shoulder of Jesus himself. I felt his presence right on the left of me, and it felt like I was being hugged on every inch of my body. I wrestled with the conviction of sharing this video because I was concerned with the fact that no one outside of myself can prove the warfare that was taking place here. I think Plato's words have defined the morals of the world when he said knowledge is justified true belief, meaning that belief is knowledge proven. Even though I had just lived it, I even watched the video diary back, fully expecting to see a figure or an orb of light, a camera discrepancy, something unexplainable and remarkable that would justify my knowledge, but I didn't. So to justify the knowledge of that experience for myself, I just began reading my Bible. Literally that day, I began reading my Bible, Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, from the very beginning. I wanted to figure out what had just happened. I realized that the knowledge itself, the mere memory of the event, was the only proof that I'd never be able to deny or question. If anything had been visible on that video, then I likely would have analyzed it time and time again and labeled it as a false image of God, which, as I learned through my Bible, does not and cannot exist. Or when doubt began to creep in, as it does, I might have even discounted whatever had shown up on the video and excused it as a multitude of other things that it could have been. And even if I hadn't done all this, someone else might have when I inevitably decided to share it. But through justifying my knowledge of God, through God, I came to this realization. God did not meet me that way so that I could prove his existence, whether it be to myself or to anyone else, because he never needed that. But he proved his existence to me in my most vulnerable position so that I would know that only he could save me, to show me that the forces that I battle will not always be visible, and so that I would always know that he, in his magnificent, incomprehensible form, is the only thing that can save me, right where I am. I ultimately understood that I needed to share this because wisdom begins with truth. And I'm telling you the truth.
Please do.